morning, folks. This morning's soap is brought to us by RazoRock. This is, I guess you might say, a close relative of the Dead Sea. In other words, it comes in a heavy glass container, 8.5 ounces of soap inside. It's got the metal screw top lid, but glass is really heavy, but a great value. $20 was full. $19.99 is full price. 8.5 ounces of soap. So you figure you divide that up, just over 4 ounces for $10. That's a pretty good buy. Really like this scent. The scent, reading from it, it's related to a cigar, and it has a eucalyptus background to it, which you can pick up on. Got the album block complete with no rubber band, and still sporting the Humphrey's witch hazel that's citrus scented, and got the matching aftershave here. Until I've been using a little bit of it. It is a really nice scent. Really, it's, if there was one that I know that I have that I would recommend scent wise, this is one of them. Dead Sea is a pretty nice one too. Both of these are, I guess you might say, top of my books. Got it whipped up big and fluffy. A little bit different than what I normally do. It's still a little bit on the damp side. This one here came with my winnings of the drawing of with Jam and G.I. James. This is a monster version of the RazoRock brush there. Yeah, I whipped it up big and fluffy for those that like to see that. It will do that. I got the Preshave soap here from Phoenix Artists and Accoutrements. It is unscented, but it is methylated. I'm going to get started with this. And the shaver of the day is going to be the Dark Stag, which is a shavette that takes half of a DE blade. And the blade today is from the pre-cut series from Shark. So if you were looking for the double-edged blade, it would be I think the equivalent of the stainless steel. Not the super chrome, but the stainless steel. Shaved with that blade yesterday. This is a new blade, but out of the same box. The blade itself is, how can you say, a bit edgy. At least for me. It's not exactly it shaves fine, don't get me wrong. It just has a bit of an edge to it. It's not exactly the smoothest blade that I've got. I'll put it that way. There we go. I have a box of them. I still use them from time to time. They're not, in my opinion, unusable or anything like that. They're not one that I would use, and in other words, just decide I'm just not going to use them. It's not like that. Got that lathered up pretty good. Having fun this morning with the lather, I guess you might say. The what it comes wrapped in is like this. All the blades in this box are wrapped like this. Nice bright yellow. It's a thick wrapper, and the box itself looks like this right here. If you're kind of wondering, I have another one. This one here I'll shave with tomorrow, and my least favorites. It might work out well in this shaver, we'll find out, but these blades here, not exactly smooth, probably the least comfortable that I have. They're, what can you say, a little tough for me to use. I'm going to go ahead and give it a try. I'm still hunting for a shavette that it will work in with. It smells great. This is really a nice scent. I like this scent. The eucalyptus, I think, in the background is what helps draw my nose in. You can see I got this pretty big. This is pretty fluffy. It was a lot of fun watching this, I guess you might say, mature, develop in the bowl. By the way, that's a walnut bowl. I also have a walnut and cherry bowl, which really looks nice too. I'm trying to stand that brush up. But here it is. Here's the, doesn't have a whole lot in the blade reveal, so it's relatively easy to use in my opinion. I've had pretty good shaves with this shaver so far. Um, like I say, I'll be using a different blade tomorrow, but I'm also tomorrow being Friday, I guess you might say I'll give you my thoughts on the shaver itself, a little bit more in detail of what I have here. They may differ, you know, as these get produced. Sometimes there might be some subtle changes to them. So in other words, if you get one after this one here, it could be different. But overall, I like the idea. See, my puppies are having issues this morning. But I really, this style, the I guess you might say my ability to be able to control it with the way this is shaped. I definitely like this style. Seen another one floating around that's Camisori style, AliExpress, and except for the head isn't quite as big. It patterns itself. I don't know if they're going to hush up or not. There's been a few videos on this other one. It's, you know, coming in the mail. It's shipped, was under $9, so I couldn't resist. Thought I'd have a give it a try. But it doesn't, it's the blades they take are like the feather blades or Kai, depending on which one you use. But it'll, hold on a second. Hey! Cut it out. Always include that in the video, right? Just like it's a live video. They were being a bit of a pill earlier this morning. Kind of like kids. Just from a different species, I guess, huh? The scent, it's, how can you say, scent strength? I think it would be on the upper end. Maybe an 8. For my nose, that's pretty good. I do have some more soaps I need to work through. I've taken a few days off work, and I guess you might say I'm planning my shaves throughout the, close to September. Not day by day, but just in categories, ideas, things I need to, been wanting to do. One of them is I'm going to revisit stick soap, face lathering, and I really struggle with it. So what I do plan on doing is practicing off camera with the stick soap face lathering in hopes that I get better when I do video. But for me, it's a struggle. Bowl lathering, it did take me a moment, but after I guess you might say actually focused on what I was doing, really easy for me to bowl lather. Face lathering, on the other hand, it's going to take me a little bit of work, so I think some practice off camera might be in order. So in other words, fewer postings till I get that at least reasonably worked up. I think I just on my blog, what I'll do is I'll document the times and what I experienced and how well I'm progressing or not progressing, depending on the situation. We did get a little bit of rain yesterday. I say a little bit, it seemed like an awful lot. It did calm down a little bit. if there was a place for it to fall, it would be, how can you say, past the dam, which here it's a Keystone Lake, and there's the dam there, and they were backed off on how it's opened up, so they're not releasing quite as much water because the lake has dropped a little bit in height, so there's not near as much going into the river with the flooding and whatnot. So the rain fell south of there, in other words past the dam, and it did fall in some areas that didn't need any more water, that's true, but it wasn't quite enough where they had to increase the amount of water they're releasing from the dam, from the lake. If anybody's followed any kind of flooding, this is a long process. The water's still got a long ways to go to recede, and then the recovery is going to be rather lengthy. So it's going to be a long-term thing. I'm very fortunate that I don't live in an area that's flooded. Picked the right place to go this time, at least in that aspect. Like I say, it's a little bit on the edgy side. Some people may not appreciate this blade. I just know they're smoother out there, but it's not a bad blade at all. Earlier, I couldn't tell for sure. I thought maybe, is it right there? Had a little bit of maybe a weeper right there. That is one thing I have to say with this blade, that I know from time to time I seem to end up with a few more weepers, and I can't tell for sure sometimes if it's me getting a pressure angle off just a little bit. It's hard for me to tell sometimes, but it's not necessarily a bad blade. It's just for me sometimes it's kind of hit miss. I know when I first started shaving, the Shark Super Chromes were the blades that I really did enjoy, and I still do like to use them from time to time. Especially in the Parker. They seem to work well in the Parker. Yesterday's shave was with a Cold River Soap Works, and the post shave of that soap is just really nice. Yeah, I've been aware of that soap maker for quite a while. I just, you know, how can you say, slow getting around to deciding whether I want to go ahead and try it or not. And it's a really nice soap. The reason I say that is because it reminds me of this one. The post shave is, you know, it kind of lends to the, I guess you might say, the idea, if you subscribe to this kind of thinking, that if you get the right kind of soap that works well for you, you can forego the aftershave. And this is a really nice scent. I can still smell it. I really like this. It's one of my favorites. I got a link to it on the website on my down below in the description and whatnot. So you, especially this time of year, you might want to read that. And it's kind of hard, I understand, because you know sometimes it's not always available when you're available, ready to buy it. But you know, these sort of soaps are sensitive to the heat. It's a relatively soft soap, what they refer to as a traditional Italian type soap. Works fine for me. I love it. I did have one. It was just there for a moment. I didn't even really notice it until as I was going by. I noticed it in the shaving cream. Otherwise, I didn't even feel it over there. Face feels nice and smooth. Aftershave here. Had a lot of fun, I guess you might say, the plotting and planning of the shaves going forward. Kind of looking forward to the trying to quote-unquote master the face lathering. Got different kind of sticks of soap. I think I've got a pretty decent variety. Got Arco coming in the mail. An Arco stick. I got a Derby stick already, which I'm not for sure not to, because I haven't really did much in the way of a comparison between Derby and Arco. I know there's a difference. I just don't know if there's that much of a difference. Had a great shave today. Hope everybody's doing well. Outside this morning, the sun is shining. Hadn't seen the sun shine like this in quite a while. It's kind of exciting. Anyway, hope everybody's doing well. Stay safe and smooth shaves to you.